It was basically a non-event. I mean, we monitor social media in places like China and Indonesia pretty closely. And usually with an event like this, you'd see, wall-to-wall kind of people complaining. There was really very little. A few people in Indonesia joking that maybe their edition of Windows was pirated or out of date. But really, it was only countries like Australia, New Zealand, Singapore and Hong Kong that were impacted, and particular businesses. For example, we saw AirAsia's operations disrupted quite significantly, but largely it was really a non-event, particularly in China.
So what could explain that?
The simple answer is that far fewer businesses in Asia use CrowdStrike's services. So CrowdStrike is really seen as a top-tier cybersecurity provider, and their services are quite expensive. So businesses in places like Australia, Singapore, they invest in their services. However, particularly in China, which very much has its own digital ecosystem, but certainly elsewhere in the region, companies simply don't use their services. So, for example, AirAsia, which was impacted, of course, is a client of CrowdStrike's, but broadly speaking, it was only really, say, high-risk sorts of businesses like airlines, banks, that we saw impacted at all. So largely, it was really just a non-event.
Well, they didn't really miss out on anything at all. Max, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks, Yvonne.